Have you ever stood at life's crossroads and whispered to yourself, "Why is everything falling apart?" Have you ever felt the world turning its back on you, leaving you in silence and self-doubt? And if that moment did come, what if it wasn't the end, but the beginning? Let me ask you something real. Have you ever hit rock bottom? When every plan shattered, the people you trusted disappeared, and you were left alone, just you. Silence and the voice of doubt? Most people fear that moment. They run from it. But here's the truth. That moment wasn't your destruction. It was your birth. It was the very first, most honest test of who you are, when nothing is given and you have to rise from the ashes. If you're here, listening to this, then it means one thing: you made it. You didn't collapse. You didn't give up. That means there's something inside you, maybe small, maybe quiet, but it's alive, a spark. And that spark, that's the power we ignite here at Stoicism Philosophy Daily. It's the force that transforms pain into progress and struggle into strength. If you feel even a flicker of that spark, write this in the comments right now. I am the fire. Say it like you believe it, because that fire is about to become your greatest weapon. Line number 1, the truth about belief you've been lied to. Not once, but over and over. They told you belief is something external, that you need motivation, validation, applause. That belief will only come when the world finally sees your potential. But that belief is fake. It's borrowed. And the moment life hits you hard, it vanishes. Real belief doesn't come from others. It doesn't come from success. It's forged in failure, built in darkness. Marcus Aurelius didn't need anyone to validate him. Epictetus, born into slavery, still rewrote his destiny. Why? Because they understood the power of inner conviction, the kind you forge by facing what others fear. That's what you need to grasp. The world won't give you belief. You must seize it. And the only way to do that is to bleed for it. Train your mind. Master your perception. Even when the world is falling apart. Still with me? Then say it again in the comments. I am the fire. Because you're not waiting for belief anymore. You're becoming it. Remember that inner spark. That flame inside you. Now is the time to guard it. Train it and forge it into a fortress. Your mind. Here's what the Stoics knew. A truth most people still miss. You cannot control the world, but you absolutely control how you respond to it. That's your fortress. That's your greatest power. Every distraction, every insult, every setback, it's all just noise, unless you assign it meaning. Epictetus once said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of them." Your mind, that's the battlefield. And if you haven't claimed command of it, you've already lost. You let someone's words ruin your day. You handed them power. You let failure stop you. You surrendered. But the moment you start viewing your mind as a fortress and you build it with discipline, self-respect and emotional control, nothing gets in unless you allow it. This is the difference between those who fall and those who rise. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being untouchable where it counts. When you master your mind, you can walk through hell with a grin. So once again, remind yourself, drop a comment saying, "I am the fire." Not for me, but to remind yourself, this mind is mine. No one enters unless they've earned it. Truth number 3. How the world manipulates your confidence. Through dark psychology, you think the world wants you strong? No, it wants you compliant, distracted and passive. Because a person who is confident, self-reliant and believes in themselves is a threat to every system built on control. So what does the world do? It feeds you comparison. It bombards you with highlight reels, filtered perfection and curated illusions. It whispers, "You're not enough, not rich enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough." And here's the twisted part. It makes you believe that you need them. You need validation. You need their products. You need their approval. That's dark psychology. That's the manipulation game. And most people never even see it happening. But you're not most people. Not anymore. Because now you see the game. And when you see it, you don't play it. You break it. You turn inward. You build your worth from the inside out. Now, no one can define you from the outside ever again. Now that you've seen the game for what it is, you're no longer just a player. You're taking control. And the next step, turning doubt into firepower. Because once your inner fortress is built, nothing, not even noise, can shake you. Say it with me right now in the comments. I am the fire. Say it with conviction. Burn the lies. Burn the doubt. Because if the world wants you weak, then strength becomes rebellion. Truth number 4. Reframe, use doubt as a weapon. Doubt isn't your enemy. It's your mirror. Every time that little voice whispers, "You're not ready. You're not smart enough. You're going to fail." That's not weakness. It's feedback. It's a map. Most people run from doubt. They try to silence it, distract from it, drown it in fake confidence. But the Stoic does the opposite. The Stoic invites it in. They stare doubt in the face and say, "Good. Now I know where to aim." Stop treating that inner resistance like a sign to quit. It's not. It's a compass. It points to the edge of your comfort zone. And that's where growth begins. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Why? Because every great move starts with discomfort and doubt. Doubt is the fire that forges clarity if you let it burn the right things. Let's be honest. The world has planted a false version of you in your mind. A fragile one. Obsessed with perfection. Terrified of failure. Every time you doubt yourself, that version gets challenged. And your duty to kill it, let it die, so the real you can rise. The one who acts in fear. The one who doesn't need proof, because belief doesn't come from evidence, it comes from decision. You don't wait for belief to arrive. You build it in the gym, in silence, in rejection, in the sweat no one sees. So next time that voice whispers, "You can't," you smirk. You reframe it. You say, "This is the part of the movie where I start becoming unstoppable." If you feel that deep down, drop it in the comments now. I am the fire. Say it like a war cry. Because from this moment forward, your doubt doesn't control you. You weaponize it. You convert it. You become dangerous because of it. Now that you've learned to weaponize doubt, it's time to face the most silent opponent of all, the voice in your head. You hear it when you wake up. You hear it when you fail. You hear it when you're alone. And here's what no one ever told you. That voice is shaping your entire life. Not your circumstances, not other people, your thoughts, the words you whisper to yourself. They are either building you or breaking you every second of every day. Now here's the twist. That voice wasn't born from you. It was installed layer by layer over the years. Your environment, your parents, your childhood, your heartbreaks, your bullies, your losses. The world taught you how to speak to yourself, and most of the time, it taught you to speak in fear, doubt, and defeat. That voice says, be realistic, play it small, don't fail, don't even try. You think that's you? It's not. It's a ghost script, and unless you rip the pen from its hand and start writing your own lines, you're not living. You're following someone else's program. The Stoics, they didn't tolerate that. Marcus Aurelius journaled like his life depended on it, because it did. His empire, his peace, his power, all came from mastering his internal dialogue. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." That quote hits harder when you realize your mind can be your greatest ally or your most brutal enemy. And most people, they never learn how to take the wheel. But you're not most people. So how do you flip it? When your mind says, "I'm not ready," you say, "Good, now's the time." When it says, "I can't," you answer, "Prove it." When it tells you you're not enough, you whisper, "Watch me." You don't argue with fear. You overrule it. You train your internal voice to sound like your highest self, the version of you that doesn't flinch, that doesn't fold, that doesn't bow to passing emotions. And the wild thing is, once you start doing this, your reality bends to match it. You walk differently, you speak differently, people feel it. Because when your internal voice aligns with power, the world outside has no choice but to adjust. Once you've taken control of the voice in your head, you're no longer the victim of your thoughts, you're their commander. So lock it in. Right now, drop it in the comments. I am the fire. Say it like you mean it. Let every syllable hit like a hammer. This is more than just a phrase, it's a declaration. You're not just rewiring your mindset, you're reforging your entire identity. Truth number 6, suffering is the shortcut. Why pain is a compass. Everyone wants to grow until they realize that growth wears the mask of pain. They want strength, clarity, and confidence, but they don't want the weight that builds those things. Here's the truth. Suffering isn't the obstacle. It's the path. It's the shortcut. The Stoics didn't chase comfort. They practiced discomfort on purpose. Why? Because they knew what most modern minds forget. Pain is feedback, not punishment. It tells you where you're still soft, where you're still hiding, where you haven't leveled up yet. It's the compass, pointing straight to your next breakthrough, if you're willing to face it. But today's world demonizes pain. It tells you to avoid it, to numb it, to medicate it, to scroll past it. And then people wonder why they're stuck, emotionally weak, spiritually lost, mentally fogged, because they're running from the fire that was meant to forge them. The Stoic doesn't run. The Stoic walks straight into the flame, because we know the more pain we choose, the less suffering owns us. Now think about your own life. Look back at your most painful chapters, not just physical pain, but emotional, the betrayal, the loss, the failure. Those were your darkest hours, but they were also your defining ones. They stripped away the fake and introduced you to your real self. And if you're honest, some part of you knows you wouldn't be you without them. That's why you stop resenting pain. You start respecting it, because every scar tells a story of survival. And every time you endure without running, without quitting, you become harder to break. You become unstoppable. So here's what I want you to do. Next time life hits you, not if, but when, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this making me? Let pain become your compass. Let it sharpen you. Let it refine your edge. And if you're walking through something heavy right now, if pain is a compass, then inside that fire, you're not being destroyed, you're being transformed. So if you're walking through the fire right now, pause, take a breath, and drop this in the comments. I am still burning, because this isn't the end. This is the transformation. Truth number 7, the identity shift. Kill who you were. There comes a moment in every warrior's life when they realize a brutal truth. To become who they're meant to be, they must kill who they used to be. Not improve, not tweak, kill. That means letting go of the habits, the excuses, and the outdated story you've been telling yourself about who you are. That story, built on fear, on failure, on false limitations, has to die. Because until it does, the real you stays buried underneath it. Most people never evolve. Why? Because they're too emotionally attached to their current identity. They say, I've always been like this. That's just who I am. No, that's who you've trained yourself to be. You weren't born insecure. You weren't born weak. You weren't born afraid to speak, afraid to lead, afraid to take your shot. That was installed through repetition, failure, and fear. But here's the wild part. If it was built, it can be rebuilt. The Stoics knew this deeply. Self-discipline wasn't just a practice, it was rebirth. Marcus Aurelius didn't become emperor by accident. He became one because every single day he questioned himself. He faced his demons. He didn't protect his ego. He destroyed it because he knew, just like you need to know now to evolve. The old self must burn. You want to be powerful? Start by asking, what version of me needs to die today? Maybe it's the coward. Maybe it's the victim. Maybe it's the version that hides in distraction, too afraid to be seen, too afraid to take risks. Whatever it is, dig a grave and bury it. This isn't about pretending to be someone else. This is about finally becoming the person you were always capable of being, the one underneath the trauma, underneath the doubt, the version of you who doesn't beg for permission, because they know who they are. So today, right now, make the declaration. Drop this in the comments like it's a funeral for your old self. The old me is dead. And mean it, because what rises next? Once you've buried the old self, the version that rises no longer asks for permission to exist. But beware, the next enemy isn't outside, it's within. Truth number 8, the enemy within, fighting the voice of weakness. Let's stop pretending. Your biggest obstacle in life was never the economy. It's not your ex, not your genetics, not your competition, not your circumstances. It's you. More specifically, it's the voice in your head, the one that whispers soft lies to keep you comfortable. The voice of weakness, the inner enemy. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That voice that appears the second things get tough, the one that says, just take a break. You've done enough today. You can try again tomorrow. It sounds gentle. It sounds reasonable. But don't be fooled. That voice is a thief. It steals your discipline. It steals your progress. It steals the version of you that you were meant to become. Here's what most people never realize. That voice isn't some external force. It's not demonic. It's familiar because you trained it. You fed it with your own patterns. Every time you chose comfort over growth, every time you let fear make the call, every time you silenced your fire and let your excuses speak louder, you gave that voice the microphone. And if you don't confront it, if you don't isolate it, expose it, and destroy it, it will sabotage everything you were put here to do. And the worst part, it won't even feel like sabotage. It'll feel like self-care, like protecting your peace, like being realistic. But in truth, it's trading your potential for safety. And safety is not freedom. It's the prettiest prison you'll ever walk into. The Stoics understood this. They knew the battle was never out there. It was within. Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And here's the thing, he didn't just write those words, he lived them. He trained like a soldier of the soul. He stood guard at the gates of his own mind, because he knew, just as you now know, the most dangerous enemy you'll ever face is yourself. Once you've faced the enemy within, the real war begins in the quietest moments. When no one else is watching. It starts in the early morning, when the alarm goes off and that voice whispers, sleeping. When you know you should hit the gym, make the call, finish the work, but the voice slithers in with 1,000 excuses. You're tired. You deserve a break. One day off won't hurt, but you know it always does, doesn't it? Because one day off becomes a pattern, and patterns shape your identity. Most people don't crash from one massive failure. They drift, quietly, slowly, through a million tiny compromises no one sees. But you're not here to drift. You're here to burn. You're here to build something most people won't even dare to attempt, an unbreakable mind. And to do that, you must become something most never choose, a relentless, conscious, disciplined warrior. Someone who doesn't wait to feel ready, who doesn't need motivation, who doesn't need applause. Someone who does what must be done, because it must be done. And this fight, it happens every single day, every hour, in every choice, between your higher self, the voice of clarity, discipline and power, and your lower self, the voice of comfort, fear and weakness. This is the real battle. You want success? Kill the voice that tells you to coast. You want self-respect? Kill the voice that says this is good enough. You want peace? Kill the voice that panics every time life pushes back. Because here's the truth, if you don't kill the voice of weakness, it will kill your dreams, slowly, silently, and you won't even realize it until it's too late. So how do you kill it? You outwork it. You override it. You ignore it and move anyway. You build discipline like armor. You create rituals that don't depend on moods. You win the small battles when you say no to comfort. When you train even when you don't feel like it. When you speak strength instead of fear. And over time, that voice fades. It grows weaker. Until one day, the only voice left is yours. The voice that commands, that leads, that doesn't beg for permission to be great. But let me be clear, this isn't a wartime kill. You don't slay the voice of weakness and walk away. This is war, ongoing, daily. But the longer you fight, when you stop merely surviving the day and start dominating it, that's when you know discipline has become part of who you are. So, right now, if you're ready to fight the inner enemy, if you're ready to burn the weakness out of your system, drop this in the comments like a blade through silence. The voice of strength lives in me. Type it like a promise, say it like a vow, because once that voice becomes your new default, the world can throw anything at you, and you won't just survive, you'll rise, you'll walk through fire, you'll become the one they can't break. Truth number 9, the only thing that matters now after everything we've covered, the pain, the fire, the doubt, the war within, it all comes down to one final thing. What are you going to do right now? Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not when you feel ready. Now, because here's the truth, you've always had the power. You've always had the spark. You were just trained to bury it under excuses, under fear, under weakness and comfort. But if you've made it this far, if you're still here, listening, then I'm telling you, that fire inside you is not gone. It's alive, and it's waiting for a command. Now you have two choices. 1, you can close this video, go back to your old patterns, nod your head like you got it, and forget everything you just felt point to. Or you can make a decision, not a wish, not a vibe, a decision that from this moment forward, you become the version of yourself who doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't fear the fire, because they are the fire. You don't need permission, not from me, not from your parents, not from society. You are already enough. But you must decide that who you've been is no longer acceptable, that the standards you've lived by, they rise today. That from this moment forward, you are not the person who waits. You are the person who acts, who leads, who refuses to be betrayed by their own mind. That doesn't mean you'll be perfect. This isn't about becoming some emotionless machine. This is about becoming disciplined, despite emotion, relentless despite fear, choosing power when your body says quit, because belief is not a feeling. Belief is a decision made again and again and again until it becomes who you are. When belief stops being a feeling and becomes a decision made over and over, it doesn't just live in you, it becomes who you are. So, what matters now is simple. What will you do next? Will you journal to confront your truth? Will you train, pushing past resistance? Will you make the call, face the fear you've been avoiding? Or will you simply take that first step? Because the next chapter of your life isn't waiting. It's already happening. And you're writing it, word by word, decision by decision. So if you're claiming this moment, if you're ready to burn the old and step into your true self, drop one final comment below like a signature. I own the fire. Let it be your mark, your evidence, your turning point. And if this message hit you, if even for 1 second you felt clarity, strength, or purpose, don't just walk away. Like this video, subscribe to Stoicism Philosophy Daily, turn on notifications. Because we're not building hype, we're building warriors one mindset at a time. Remember this, you were not born average. You were born with fire, and now you own it. If you're ready to live with that fire, stick around, because in the next part, you'll learn how to turn it into something that lights up the world.